What is up, Woven listeners? We are moving on to part 2 of a value-driven life. In this conversation, Jenny and I are talking about the power of really knowing and understanding your own personal values and how those really guide all the decision-making in your life and can really lead to a very powerful, very fulfilling, very impactful life. So if you haven't heard part 1, go back and listen to that yet, because we pick up right in the middle of the conversation. Let me know what you think about the power of a value-driven life. Thank you so much for listening. So I started with Brene's list. And so we'll go back through those A's just to demonstrate it. So accountability. Yep, that's my number one personal value. Okay, so second on the list is achievement. If accountability and achievement had to go head to head, who would come out on top for me? Well, definitely accountability.
Okay.
I'm not a driven achiever. It's just not who I am. So then third on the list is then adaptability, which that's a great value. I think it's super good to be that way. But if accountability and adaptability went head to head, which would win? I'm going to go with adaptability on that one.
Okay.
Again, not because I don't value accountability. It's, being able to change my approaches and attitudes and methods to account for different situations and seasons in life is, I think, a super critical skill and serves me very, very well.
Okay, good.
For example.
Okay.
And that's the hard part. When eliminating something, you can't say, oh, but I like that too. It's not that you don't like it anymore. It's just we're trying to rank the important ones.
Okay.
So then adaptability to adventure. Adventure would win that. So I knock adaptability off the list.
It's gone.
Adventure and altruism. Oh my gosh. See, that's really close. So when you get to a moment like that, you're like, I don't know which one would win. You know what? Maybe that's my second value. So I'm going to rank rank adventure first.
Okay.
Altruism second.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go. I'll go for the sake of this example. Altruism's first. Okay. Adventure is second.
Okay.
Okay. Ambition. The second place one, adventure. It does not knock it off. So I don't even have to put it head to head with altruism. Ambition's off. The last A is authenticity. Whew. Do I value authenticity or adventure? For the sake of this example, I'm going to say authenticity. I love adventure. Love it. Crave it. Can't wait to have it. But for the sake of this exercise, I'm bumping it off the list. So now authenticity is in second.
Okay.
Authenticity or altruism?
Is this the battle royale?
This is how it works.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to keep altruism 1, authenticity 2. And then you would continue on and on and on through your values this way.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah, it's the hard part is knowing that you're not saying no, something isn't important.
Yeah.
It's just not as.
Right. I like that.
And you can do more practical things like, narrowing down that big list first, because Brene gives you, I don't even count, but there's.
Yeah, you said it's a lot.
Scores.
Wow. Okay.
Let's say I narrow that down just to 15 to 20.
Okay.
And then I could do that, battle royale tactic if I really wanted to.
Okay. And yeah. You got this list just from people.
Brene Brown posted this list, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes. It's on her website, and it's part of the resources that come with Dare to Lead, one of her more popular books.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I prefer 3. For me, that's easy to manage. You might just have 2. You might have 4. Don't go more than 4, because then it really does start to Yeah,
Okay.
it starts to defeat the purpose at that point.
Okay.
There's kind of an adage: if you value everything, you really value nothing.
Yeah. Well, to me, person would be the external influence.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
if
I'm
they
going to
be like,
please
ah,
everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll please everybody by valuing everything.
yeah. Okay.
So you want to hear my personal values?
I didn't know if you were going to share them. Yes. Your top three. Do you have three?
I have three.
Okay.
My top value is family.
Okay.
Family is the thing I value over and above everything else.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a decision to make,
Mm-hmm.
I will always make that decision with my family in mind first.
Okay.
Every single time.
Yeah.
I have said no to business trips and to travel because I didn't want to be away from my family. I have not gone on, like, I've not been a part of like retreats for my coaching program
Yeah.
because I'll
Mm-hmm.
miss coaching my daughter's softball game or my anniversary.
Yeah.
That was this most recent one.
Yeah.
Um, I'll even say no to extra work at the potential expense of like career gains
Mm-hmm.
because, and you ask my wife, I say this to her all the time, 20 years from now, I'm not going to remember that extra work I did for that company who replaced me within a week after I left.
Right.
I will remember the time I made for my son or my daughter to do that special thing.
Yes.
Have catch, kick a ball, go ride bikes, get ice cream.
Yes. Okay.
So family is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
Do not pass go. Do not collect 200.
In the instances you just described, I can see perfectly when you mentioned earlier the filter. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's got to pass through there, and then it's cut and dry. And as you were saying, those choices, I mean, I just want to ask honestly, are there times when you're like, what am I doing? I'm crazy. I'm giving up this beautiful trip with my friends. I mean, I'm sure as a human, you've got to be like, wow, did I really do the right thing?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, especially early on when you're not used to using these values as filters,
Mm-hmm.
and you're starting to realize for the first time, like, oh, I'm actually going to make a decision based on this.
Yeah.
And you kind of get nervous and scared, like, is this the right decision? What am I saying no to? What will I miss out on?
Mm-hmm.
But like with any sort of skill or exercise or strength, the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
So at first, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit scary.
Yeah.
I wondered what the heck I was doing. I even still made the wrong choice a couple times.
Yeah. I would expect that. Like, yeah, you're not going to get it right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But now I barely bat an eyelash.
Yeah.
And what's further is now it used to be where I would apologize. If I were to say no to something, I'm sorry, I can't. It's family, this, that, and the other. Now I don't even apologize. Sorry, can't do that.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I realize I just apologized, right? I simply say, thank you, but I can't do that.
I didn't even
Before
notice.
I would, yeah, I know, right? Before it would be like, oh gosh, I'm really, really sorry. Like I didn't mean to. Next time, I promise. Things like that. But it's so important to me now that I don't feel the need to explain myself and apologize for my decisions.
Okay, I have to pause because I had the same conversation with a client this morning that a mentor taught me long ago. And it's hard, but it's a solid truth. And she would always tell me, you can't set a boundary and take care of someone else.
Oof.
Ouch.
I know.
Because you want to set the boundary and be like, are you okay? I hope you're not upset with me. This is why.
Yep.
Blah, blah. And she would say, you cannot do both. Like it's paradoxical. I think that's right. She's like, you can't set a boundary and take care of someone else. right? It hurts.
That makes it hard.
I
It
know.
does. That makes it very difficult.
She would come back to the point of you actually are taking care of the people you love by setting a boundary.
Yes, because you're taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then you're able to give, and you're able to give freely. She would say you can give for fun and for free. There's no resentments,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a. Even as I spoke it to my client this morning, I was like, I know that's hard to hear. I know that is so hard to hear, and even harder to do.
Yes.
But it has proven true for me in my life too. Is you can't set a boundary and
Mm-hmm.
take care of someone else. So
No,
yeah.
you really cannot.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. Oof, that's good.
Hmm.
I'm going
Okay.
to think about my boundaries all the time now.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we got
Um,
family.
mhm.
Number one.
My second one is freedom.
Ooh.
Freedom, not in the sense of like political or from a government standpoint. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in America, I'm free, I can do what I want. Not in that sense. I have no clue what that accent was, by the way. Apparently, Americans talk that way. I have no clue what that was. All right, focus, Brendon. You can do this. Freedom in the sense that I want to be free with my time,
Mm.
my energy, my resources. I had breakfast with a really good friend this week. I do breakfast a lot. It's my
Yeah,
favorite way to hang out with friends.
that's
Some people
cool.
have coffee or drinks. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
ooh, breakfast.
Yeah.
Um, and we were talking about that. And he was actually asking about this podcast, how it was going, and this, that, and the other. And I told him our tagline, we're not experts. We're not trying to be. We're just documenting our journey as we lead each other home. And I told him that really resounds with me because I didn't want to be like this leader sort of figure.
Mm.
I feel like very constrained if like my name and face is out there and people have to look towards me, which is odd as a coach, right? People have to look to me, for permission and guidance and like, oh, Brendon, this. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want that at all. I told him
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather live a life of complete anonymity
Mm-hmm.
than a life of fame.
Mm.
Not that I'm famous, not that I'm anywhere close to it, but if given the choice, I would rather live in complete anonymity and then fame. And I said, you know why? And it occurred to me just as we're having pancakes. I said, because with anonymity, I'm a lot more free to come, to go, to do.
Yeah.
I don't have those external pressures and expectations and influences on me.
Yeah.
I highly value being free
Okay.
of those expectations,
Mm-hmm.
influences, free to do what I want any old time. Who sang that song?
Yeah. Oh, come on. It's like, I can do whatever I want. Is it the Rolling Stones?
Any old time. No, it's not.
Why would I
that
say
much
that?
I do know.
Okay, that would probably embarrass myself by saying that, but it seemed like it. Are you looking it up?
I am. The Soup Dragons?
What?
Is this a real thing?
Can't be. It's a one-hit wonder.
I'm free to do what I want any old time. I said I'm free to do what I want. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Soup
Never.
Dragons. We'll link to that song in the show notes too.
Good. It almost sounds made up.
I know. That's why I'm like, this can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
So freedom is my second value. And I've also made choices based on that. For example,
Yeah.
I have a security consulting gig
Mm-hmm.
that I have a lot of freedom with. I'm not, I don't have to account for everything I'm doing all the time. There's no one watching and micromanaging. And that has a lot of appeal to me because I'm treated like an adult.
Mm.
And I have freedom as long as I'm able to deliver and do what I promised to deliver and do. I'm not pestered or bugged. I
Yeah.
value that. I value
Yes.
that.
Yes. Okay.
And then the last one is faith.
Okay.
I went with faith partially because of the repetition of the letter
I
F.
knew it.
It just, I know. You're a sucker for it. I'm a sucker for it. That alliteration is there, but the explanation is too long, and I had a hard time boiling it down. And this might fall under like authenticity or something like that, but I value faith in a very simple, authentic, bumbling, truly pious, not any false piety, truly pious, humble sort of way. I told the story in episode 2, I think was my
Your
story.
story, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where I worked vocationally as a minister for a while. And part of my disillusionment after that was a huge disconnect with like organized church and that organized sort of religion. And it really put a big strain on my faith. And one of the heroes of my faith, whose works really kind of buoyed me during that time, was the late Frederick Buechner. And I've shared his quotes on here before, especially when you notice tears, especially unexpected tears, it is best to pay closest attention. But he often describes his own faith as simple and bubbling and not very good. I wish I'm going to have to find this quote and put it after the fact because I don't think his book's here. I'm going to want to find this quote now. He even refers to himself as a pig when it comes to his faith.
Okay.
And not in a false pious way where he's real, people do that. They'll like try to act humble. Yeah. No, this old thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He genuinely means it. Like, I must not be a very good Christian, but here I am anyway. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean by faith. And so those things, and I think I could boil into that like some foundational Christian ethics. So when it comes to decision making, those are my filters.
Okay.
Family is my family taken care of? Is my family accounted for in this decision? Are they going to suffer in any degree? Freedom. Does this allow me the freedom I want in life to come and go and to do as I wish? Does it keep me in relative anonymity, or is a lot going to be expected of me, especially in the limelight? And then faith. Does this allow me to be authentically myself and free from judgment as I kind of bumble through my own faith and figure it out?
Yeah. That's good.
And through those filters, I make decisions. And it's freeing and liberating and beautiful. And I absolutely love it.
And if I'm not mistaken, it gets easier with time and practice. Okay.
It does. Oh, 100% it does. Because we make decisions a certain way our whole life. So to suddenly say, I'm going to change the very framework by which I decide where I'm going, who I'm doing it with, what I'm eating, whatever. Like that is not easy to do by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. And it takes practice.
Tons.
Just like any skill.
And at the beginning, it takes very deliberate practice where you might have to like write down your values and constantly have them up in front of you and make the deliberate practice to say, okay, this is a big decision coming up. I'm going to meditate on it, pray on it with my values at the forefront. And then over time, it becomes slightly less of a manual task
Mm-hmm.
and a little more automated.
Right. Right. Well, you and I, thank you for this. This as you're talking, I'm learning, I'm taking notes. And you and I mentioned yesterday when knew this would be our subject that we are liking the
Mm-hmm.
direction we're going because we're going more, I think, big picture down to like practicalness. Like when we talked last week
Yes.
about how to find a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I were listening today and I was like, man, this sounds cool. This sounds like something I'd like to try in my life.
Yeah.
I want to live the way you described. What would be my first step? Would it be downloading that Brene Brown list?
Yeah. I think that's a great place to start, is just to um, explore
Mm-hmm.
these values so that you become aware. So, well, again, I'll link to it in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
The list of values from Brene Brown's Dare to Lead. Better yet, if you can get access to that book, I would read the book too, because it provide a little more context around that list.
Mm-hmm.
But start with that list. And then not only can you go through it yourself and maybe 10, 20 of them circle that are more important to really jump out at you,
Mm-hmm.
but then maybe do that exercise with someone who you feel knows you
Mm-hmm.
super well and can be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes having that coach, mentor, advisor, friend, guide, spiritual guide, they can notice things
Mm-hmm.
in you that you can't notice yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
They could hold that mirror up and say, I really see this in you. You might want to consider if that's one of your
Mm-hmm.
values.
Or even, I see you saying that, but I haven't ever seen you achieve that.
Yes. Yes.
And that,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
That may help
Mm-hmm.
with that external pressure that
Yep.
we kind of succumb to.
Yeah. So that's, as with most everything I'll ever teach anyone, it starts with awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So just become aware that these things are things that people value and use for filters in their life. And then just see if you can notice times in your life, decisions, choices where, okay, when I made that decision, what am I saying about my values with that decision? Don't judge it.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the second thing after awareness is non-judgment. Don't judge it. Just acknowledge it. I'll use an example because of all the things we judge, food is definitely the top one.
Mm-hmm.
People judge food, their own and other people's, all the stinking time.
Right.
So this is a realization I had to come through with food, and this kind of ties into the family decision. I will make a food choice that is maybe contrary to the health and fitness sector that I work in as
Okay.
a CrossFit affiliate owner.
Mm-hmm.
That was not, those nacho cheese Doritos were not paleo. They were, I don't know, are they paleo? I don't know, whatever.
I don't think so.
It was not a healthy choice.
Right.
It's not even real food, right? That's
True.
not
True.
real food. But if I'm watching a game or a movie with my son, he's like, Dad, let's get some Doritos.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell am I going to say?
Right.
Sorry, son, that's not real food. And all of a sudden he's like, dude, you're lame. Well, he
Yeah.
says that anyway.
Yeah.
But if me having some Doritos was part of a larger experience that bonded me with my son, guess what my number one value is?
Mm-hmm.
Family.
Right.
I'm going to make that choice, and I'm not going to judge myself for it because it directly fed into reinforcing my top value.
Mm. Yes.
Now, of course, I'd want to make that choice in harmony with the rest of my dietary and nutritional choices,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And, say, well, I'm not going to make a habit of eating a bag of these.
Right.
But become aware of the choices you make and the values that go into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then don't judge them. Just be aware.
Yeah.
Just be aware.
Uh-huh. I like that. I was going to come back. I was like, because you mentioned earlier, no judgment was a big part of this process.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Your values are your values.
Mm-hmm.
And mine are probably different than yours,
Mm-hmm.
even though we're similar people, Jenny.
True.
In a lot of ways, not just from a coaching standpoint. In a lot of ways, we're similar people, but your values might be different than mine.
Yeah, I agree.
And on to the next person. And mine are not better than yours, and yours are not better than mine.
Right.
They're just your values.
They're intrinsically yours.
Yes, 100%. And that goes right along with non-judgment.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if we could all have this? This should be in the school curriculum. As we're forming our little brains. Because if we all had this mentality, then when somebody didn't go again with you in your decision, you would know, they're sticking to their values. Okay, cool.
What a great mindset.
Yeah. Instead, we usually judge or create a story about someone else and involving us when it's got nothing to do with us. It's probably
nothing.
Yeah, because it's our own values. That's really cool.
100%.
What a fun thing. I love kind of learning more, one, about myself and learning more about how to live my life from a place of ease and strength. And to me, deciding my values is leading me toward that goal of I want to live with some ease and some strength, but both. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Really cool.
This is good stuff.
It is.
Yes, it's really good stuff.
I like it. I was thinking, are you going to ask me to do it? And then I have to say my values. That would be accountability.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. Yeah, right. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but if you've done an exercise like this and you know what your values are, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I have not done an exercise like this.
Okay, then it'd be silly to put you on the spot because this really is a process. You have to explore these, experiment with these, and I guess that's actually a good point to finish with. Your values are not going to persist for the rest of your life.
Oh, you mean there's going to be fluidity in them?
100%.
I did not know that.
The easiest one to look at is my first one, family. Have I always valued family? Absolutely. My parents, my brother, love them to death. Did my priority for family skyrocket once I got married and had children? You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. Did I understand how important to me freedom was as a 20-year-old college student? No, because that was my life.
Right.
I literally did whatever I want, whenever I want. There were consequences.
Yes.
But it wasn't until later in my career, my late 30s, early 40s, when I didn't have the freedom that I thought, oof, that is super important to me. So understanding that your values are fluid, you should probably at least have an annual cadence of looking at these, whether you want to do something like New Year's or your birthday, some sort of annual cadence, or at any significant life change. Maybe getting married and having children, maybe starting a new career.
Right.
Heaven forbid, at the death of a loved one. That's sometimes in the midst of that terrible event, that's sometimes a good opportunity to sit back and reflect as you're reflecting on their life and their impact on you, to really look at yourself and say, I need to think about what's important.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So they will be fluid. Always go back to these and reevaluate. And a nice side effect of knowing that you're always going to look at your values again is that you don't have to worry about getting it perfectly right.
True.
I think these are my values, but you know what? At the next major life event or my birthday, I get to look at this all over again. Or if you just have the epiphany one day, like, oh my gosh, I do value authenticity so much. You could go back through this exercise again and consider adding that to the list.
Yeah. No more, at least 3, no more than 4.
That's what I suggest.
Range. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I happen to really like 3. It works well. They're easy to remember. It's easy to use when I make decisions.
Right.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Well, I've learned a lot. This has been great.
Yay. I love this idea so much. I'm writing on it right now.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's such a foundational thing to have in your life.
I agree.
Because we all make choices, millions of them over the course of our life, little and big.
Right.
And so to have a filter like this
yes.
Is super valuable.
Yes. And I would just think it would build your confidence. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you so much. This was really good.
Uh-huh.
This is really good.
I agree.
All right, Jenny. We'll see ya.
It was kind of like you should.
I had no clue how to end it. I'm like, wait, are we done?
What do I do now? Is it done? Did you just end it? I don't know. It's still.
I think so.
Or is it?
Well, I didn't stop the recording.
I think it's recording.
It is. I just don't know how to. I don't know how to sign off.
Well, it wasn't like a mic drop a moment either, which would have been cool.
No, it wasn't. You stay classy, San Diego. Oh, so clumsy.
Well,
I'm definitely I'm leaving that in because I'm such a goober. Oh my gosh. As my daughter says, I'm cringe.
Oh, I don't know these words. It just makes you cringe. Like,
yeah, apparently the things I say and do make my 12-year-old daughter cringe.
Oh,
so that's part of being a dad. I think.
Totally. Okay.
All right. Signing off.
You
good. Stay classy, podcast land.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
All right, Jenny.
Okay. Until next time.
Until next time.
Good.